Now that we've hopefully figured out how to bring in all the different data sets into ArcMap, we can now actually analyze them, which is the whole purpose of the lab, to determine things like error associated with the data and which would be most useful for different particular needs that we might have. And so I'm gonna unclick a number of these data sets. So what's left right here are the Trimble data. And so I want to show you guys a few things. One of them is the measurement tool. If you guys remember this flag here, we meant to basically had flags that we knew were measured were 5 meters apart from each other. And so if we use this measurement tool, we can basically click on one guy, and then once it highlights, click on the other one, and we can see for our particular segment, if I move the mouse, it'll change. But from the first point to the second point, that length was 4.97 meters. Pretty close. So that's one way that we can actually test and quantify the error associated with the garment, right? Another way would be to zoom in on this guy. You'll notice that it's shifted over, right? So we've got a shift going on. But independent of the shift, you just think about the error, the distance error measurement. So that's a little bit more than a meter. So I'm actually going to move this closer to where I'm working. This guy to this guy is a little bit more than a meter. This guy to this guy is a little bit more than a meter. And then this guy to this guy is actually a little bit less than a meter. So you can use these types of measurements, bring them into Excel, and then do some math and make some calculations for the average error and so on. That's the kind of thing I would like to see for each of the different data sets. An interesting one for, oh, look at the tree. Like, look how the Trimble did under the tree for getting at that square versus out in the open field. That is beautiful. That is fantastic. Another data set to look, I'm going to unclick the Trimble, and I'm going to bring up some Garmin data from Tommy's group, and that's signified by these boxes. So we can do the same thing, right? We can measure the distance. So that's 2 meters, and it's supposed to be 5 meters, right? It's a big mess. We could try to visualize that error with the Garmin data if you guys brought in the actual error field by going here to quantities. You could go to proportional symbols. This is under symbology. Let me cancel this again. So right click on this guy, go to properties, under symbology tab, go to quantities, go to proportional symbols. The field value you want to choose here is actually the error, no normalization. The units of the error, we know what they are. They're actually in meters. And we want to visualize it as a circle, and the data represents, okay, the half width of so this is the error associated with this one. So I'm going to apply this. Oh, look how awesome that looks. So that is giving you a visual indication of, we can change the symbology a little bit if we want to. So the symbol, we could change it. We could make it red, whatever. We could do all sorts of things here for this guy. But and actually it'd probably be better if it was a clear circle with an outline so you can see what's going on. But this gives you an indication of the error in that Garmin data, right? Which I think is visually quite impressive. And so your tasks are to analyze the data, do some calculations to figure out the accuracy and how well these different units were able to perform. And then create a number of different maps. Right now we've been working the data field, but this would be, you could insert, you could insert a scale bar, and do all this fantastic work to create the supporting images and figures in your reports that are required to help you get across whatever it is you're trying to communicate. And if you have questions about what you're trying to communicate, go back and read the lab document itself, and that will lead you in the right direction.